when she was 6, and the marriage was consummated when she was 9.
No evidence it was normal to consummate a marriage to a 9-year-old. However, if this was a normal practice in 7th century Arabia, all this shows us is that Muhammad is not an excellent moral example for humanity. He is just a product of that corrupt culture.
You know, this century-old debate, the age of Aisha when she married the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she was 6, she was 9, she was 7, she was 8, she was 10. Let's just conclude this matter once and for all, right? The Ahl Sunnah do have a narration, so I get where you Christians are coming from, that Aisha in Bukhari 5133, as you can see here, says that she was 6 years old at the time of her marriage and she was 9 at the time of the consummation of the marriage. This is completely false. It's also narrated in Muslim 1422a, as you can see here. Okay, so I get where you guys get the sources from. However, Ibn Kathir in Bidayah wa Nihaya, volume 8, page 371, said Asma, the older sister of Aisha, was 10 years older than her. Okay, this is also narrated in Sunan Bayhaqi, volume 6, page 204. So we've established Aisha as a sister and she's 10 years older than Aisha. Okay. Ibn Hajar in Tahdhib al-Tahdhib, volume 12, page 349, says Asma died in the 73rd year after Hijrah at the age of 100. Died in the 73 years after the migration of the Prophet and she was 100. Okay, go with me here. Asma was born when? 27 years before the migration of the Prophet. This is narrated by Imam Nawawi in Tahdhib al-Asma, volume 3, page 223. Okay, she was born when? 27 years before the migration of the Prophet. Meaning what? Aisha was born when? Around 17 years before the migration of the Prophet. The Prophet migrated when? In the historical calendar, 1 AH. Aisha would have been at least 18 at the time that the Prophet migrated. So at the time of their consummation of their marriage, which was a year or two after the migration, Aisha would have been 19 or 20 years old when she married the Prophet and consummated the marriage. Also, Aisha was present in the Battle of Badr and she was also present in the Battle of Uhud. Uhud and Badr. Badr was 2 AH, Uhud was 3 AH. Narrated in Bukhari 2880 that Aisha participated in the Battle of Uhud, helping the wounded and giving water to the soldiers. Now, Ibn Umar, the son of Umar, was 14 years old and the Prophet didn't let him participate in the Battle of Badr. He said, you're too young. The minimum age, according to the Prophet, is 15 for you to participate in a battle. Ibn Umar was 14, the Prophet didn't let him participate. This can be found in Muslim 1868a, as you can see here. So that means Aisha was definitely more than 15 at the time of the Battle of Badr and Uhud. Tarikh Tabri, volume 2, page 99, Aisha was reportedly engaged to Jubair ibn Mut'im before marrying the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So she was married to the Prophet at 6, but potentially engaged to someone else before that. So what, was she like 4, 5? Nonsense, right? Complete nonsense. And finally, we have here Dhahabi in his Kitab Mizan al-Ihtidal, volume 4, page 301. He questioned, now there's a problem here. The main key narrator for the Sunnis, on every single narration that narrates Aisha's age being either 6, 7, 8 or 9, they come from a man by the name of Hisham ibn Urwa and Urwa the father, right? These two individuals. Both of them are weak and unreliable. Why? Dhahabi in Al-Mizan al-Ihtidal, volume 4, page 301, questioned his memory. Now, finally, to conclude, Aisha would have been around what? 19 to 20 or even 18 to 19 when she married the Prophet ﷺ, not 6 or 9. So you can get this out of your head straight away. And finally, if you really want to talk about old men marrying young girls, we look at the Catholic Encyclopedia, as you can see here above my head. It says that Mary was 12 to 14 years old when she married Joseph, who was 90.